Hello, welcome back to Persona 2 Eternal Punishment. So, we have in fact unlocked part 2 of the Tatsuya scenario. Before I do anything, we gotta resupply on healing items. In fact, I'll probably just spend all of my money. Oh god, I just maxed this stuff out to 99. That's still... I can afford it though. Fuck it. Why not? This is for Tatsuya. Probably could use more of these. 24, 25. 24, 25. Okay. To the Velvet Room. Well, I guess I'll spend some money to heal up real quick. Hello, welcome to Hiragi Psychotherapy. I'm the counselor, Reiko. Nice to meet you. Heal me. We still can't find the whereabouts of Tatsuya. He might be at the seminar. We could be where he could be preparing for it. Hey, Maki. Kandori-san is alive, but why is he in the New World Order? Is he being controlled, or could it be he was seriously going to kill Ikichi? If that lad Tatsuya did not come in, Ikichi would have been dead. But opening such a massive seminar, they must anticipate us coming too. Genji Sasaki may be the sacrifice. Nada-kun and the others seem to be fighting in a different world. The destiny of the past, huh? Oh, actually, I want to do something real quick. I want to see if I can still do this. I gotta go speak to my manager. Did I miss the trigger on this? Amano, you were in front of the Parabellum, right? No, what are you talking about? You aren't lying, are you? I'll be upset if you are lying. And were you out flirting with some guy? Look, a woman is a flower when she's bound to her work. Don't shake your petals just because of some cute guy. Men are monsters. They approach you with a sweet face, but then take your money and stuff. Now get back to work. Alright, that was one trigger. So I guess I could still do that one. I missed out on one of the triggers, so I won't get one of the things. But hey, that was it. I heard from Ellie. You're also a Persona user, huh? That strange feeling when we first met. I guess that really was resonance. Sarazawa seems to think of Kirishima as a friend, but what does she think? There are people who quickly call others friends. This is Kismet Publishing. So what kind of publication is Amano-san involved with? Coolest? My apologies, I never heard of it. Ellie-chan's pictures are in fashion magazines and stuff, huh? Never thought I'd be friends with a real model. I never expected to become acquainted with someone in the industry. What do you mean, who? You're basically a celebrity, right? No. Now we can go to the Velvet Room. I just want to know if I could do that, so I'll have to make sure to do that when we switch back to Eriko's route. And now we'll drop a little save. Alright, Igor. Show me what Tatsuya was up to during all that time. Lone Shadow 2. Well then, farewell for a time. Here we go! Ah, there's our theme finally. It's a good song. Middle-aged security guard. That's definitely Tatsuya's voice. Unbelievable. How can this be? Former Detective Suo removed the earphone, shook his head and looked up at me. After a moment, he half rose from the bench and handed the voice recorder back to me. There was no change in his dumbfounded expression, of course. If I hadn't seen Tatsuya-kun in Pseudo's personas myself, I doubt I'd have believed it either. The voice recorder played back what Tatsuya-kun told me about the events on the other side, and his guesses about what's going to happen here on this side. He finally told me after I promised to keep it a secret, but I secretly recorded it. Sorry, Tatsuya-kun. Adults will lie without batting an eye. Her theme is so good, Jesus Christ. Taking a drink. And letting that song play. So that Tatsuya's... So he's not dead. Huh. I thought he was dead. Persona. But is it really possible for rumors to come true? I removed the charm that I inserted into my police notebook. This is the student emblem that Tatsuya-kun lent me. Supposedly, so long as you have the Seven Sisters emblem on you, you'll be safe, even if Joker targets you. It's been a hot topic among the kids lately. And in truth, Pseudo hasn't appeared before me ever since. So I said, but he probably couldn't believe me. Adults needed adult logic. If you like to verify it for yourself, try going to a bar called Parabellum. It's near this park. Just as the rumors say, they have things like this for sale. I opened the front of my jacket and drew the G33 from the shoulder holster hanging under my left side, then removed the magazine to be on the safe side and handed him the gun in pieces. It might be an ultra-compact handgun that you could tuck into the palm of your hand, but it used 357 SIG bullets. It had firepower comparable to a 357 Magnum, close to 5 times that of the 32s that the station lent us. It's often called a pocket rocket. Naturally, these don't get supplied to Japanese police officers. The guns we're lent from work have to be returned each day to the service office. So I purchased this weapon for my own personal protection. If you abide by the rules against criminals who use personas or demons or whatever, you won't be able to defend yourself. This is the real thing. So the former detective growled as he verified the weight of the gun and the bullets in the magazine. Said rounds aren't the so-called full metal jackets, which are the full penetration ammo allowed for use in P230 JPs and new Nambus. Let's see, these were jacketed hollow points, which exposed the lead on the tip and had a pit in the center. They were warheads meant to stop a person stone dead. Their penetrative power fell short compared to FMJs. But when it came to dealing damage to soft targets, like human bodies, they were far superior. This is because the lead mushroomed at the moment of impact. It efficiently delivered a shock and caused massive blood loss. As a result, their use was prohibited in international warfare per the Hague Convention. I surprised at that one. I heard it's because they were deemed inhumane due to the unnecessary suffering they caused. Apparently, there was such a thing in this world as human warfare. Black stars and Makarovs aren't something you can get your hands on at the on a moment's notice. Ugh. Even when using... Okay, I need to focus here. Even using black market routes from the mainland, the Philippines, and Russia. I don't know how it works precisely, but I can only conclude that rumors have become true. Put that away right now. Suo-san handed back the gun and magazine, then rested his chin on his hands, which were propped on top of his thighs, and uttered another groan. Next to him, the wrappers for the onpan we lined up and eaten together earlier swayed in the autumn breeze from under the cardboard milk bag. He'd squeezed in time for me during his lunch break, so we wound up eating here as we talked. It's barely any meal at all for a security guard who spent all his time on his feet, but we couldn't exactly chat about all this over at the cafe around the corner. I asked when his lunch break ended, and that time's already passed. I feel bad to keep him here for much longer. I'd better get back to the main issue. Even now, Tatsuya-kun is pursuing Sudo. He believes he's the only one who can cope with the situation, or rather, he believes that as the only one who hasn't lost his memory, he has to do this all alone. That's why. Is Tatsuya aware of the situation? No, I suspect not. It seems Sergeant Suo is cooperating with a woman named Maya Amano, whom Tatsuya-kun is trying to protect. Tatsuya-kun said he doesn't want to get his friends from the other side or his family involved. That's why he left home. This is fundamentally not a task for children. It's our job as police officers. However, you and I both know that the police are not reliable. Togashi's still. Thinking over his former friend, Suo-san looked up at me as if begging for good news. I didn't have any I could tell him though. He's connected to Tetsuzo Sudo. It's clear that he and Captain Shimazu are obstructing the investigation to make sure Tatsuya Sudo doesn't get detained. Togashi. He seemed to age 10 years as his head sagged down, hand on his brow. It was probably tough knowing his best friend betrayed him and continued to participate in the crimes for which he should have been arrested. Somewhere inside, he had still trusted Togashi. Right now, the only one who can defeat Sudo and protect the world is Tatsuya-kun. I realize I'm asking too much, but he can't shoulder the burden all alone. I'll support him to the extent that I'm capable of. Tatsuya-kun needs the help of adults who knows what's really happening. We first met at Zodiac during his remodeling. After hearing about the inevitability of Takuya's death and the secrets of the world, I forced Tatsuya-kun to make a deal with me. I'd provide him with a place to stay and information on the Sudo investigation. In return, he makes sure Sudo dies and stays dead. That's already been done. Most likely, no matter how things go, Tatsuya-kun will eventually have to settle things with Sudo regardless. Legally speaking, there might be room to assert that it was legitimate self-defense. However, that doesn't change the fact that he's hurting and killing someone. No matter how evil that someone may be, the fact that he's ending their life will leave an indelible scar on Tetsuya-kun's heart. But it's not all his fault. I'm the one who requested Sudo's death. I don't care if it's just a consolation. It might be enough to allow him to forgive himself. Could you possibly let Tatsuya-kun do as he wills? Suo-san stood up there, then, the shade of anguish fading from his eyes. It seemed he made the decision to watch over his son, who was trying to oppose a cruel fate. Yeah, his son's trying to go up against the will of humanity. Understood. I feel at ease knowing that he's in your care. I'll talk to my wife and withdraw the missing persons report. Thank you very much. I bowed my head, grateful from the bottom of my heart. He was basically telling me he was giving me his son's life, when I couldn't have complained if he struck me and said I couldn't have complained. But with this, it should get a little easier for Tatsuya-kun to make his move. Even at the best of times, he stands out. So long as he's moving around in this city, it's better to remove as many unnecessary hurdles as possible. I never dreamed that I'd get mixed up in something like this. Is this what you called fate? I meant to do this for their sake, but ultimately I ended up pushing my failure onto my sons. I'm truly sorry to you too, Shiori-san. I catapulted to Tatsuzo's threats. That's not it. I capitulated to Tatsuzo's threats to protect my family. Thanks to that, you're now in this position. Zua-san and me, Chief Togashi and Sudo's son, the head of investigations, and the kids who created this side, and finally the woman who holds the fate of the world. Maya Amano. Tatsuya's core connections spread out from him like a mandala, but a warped one, fashioned by a malicious artisan to mock its subject and viewers. Guess that explains why the last location of the game is Nagatsu Mandala, right? Or is that Persona 4? That's Persona 4. Nagatsu Mandala is Persona 4. It's like Monadad Mandala from Persona 2? While the individuals look unrelated at a glance, they draw a similar relationship chart through someone else. For us, whose names join the list without any of us the wiser, 10 years' time hasn't given us any resolution at all. All the loss and despair we struggled to endure, all the sorrow and rage that piled upon us was nothing more than the overture. That said, we've had plenty of time to make sure we've recovered even so. Don't underestimate us humans. I'm sure I'd have done the same had I been in your shoes. Besides which, I'm glad now that I became a policewoman. I got to meet Tatsuya-kun, and I can extend a hand to kids who committed crimes without forcing them into the twisted society adults created. It might be impossible for now, but one day I want to make our society one where kids like Tatsuya-kun can live with a smile. That's the task of us adults. Kids mustn't be forced into a world where they have to sacrifice something in order to enter. I heard the aerospace museum blimp is flying. Let's go check it out. Whoa, the rumor it flies was true. Let's go. Okay, so Tatsuya has just been killed. So it's only about how long ago was that before Eriko and them joined up? Overhearing the voices of children running nearby, Suo-san and I shared a glance and looked up at the sky. I couldn't see it from here, but perhaps it was true that the blimp was flying. Come to think of it, I heard fire truck sirens wailing just a bit ago. Don't know why, but I got the feeling that Tatsuya-kun's almost certainly on that blimp. See it through to the end, Tatsuya-kun, so you don't regret a thing. Conan Lunar's palace, Shiori Majori's home. I'm home. I knew there wouldn't be a response. At this hour, Shiori-san should still be at work. Alright. It still felt like I'm barging in here, but if I treated it as anything but home, she'd get mad. I hopped into the bathroom and took a shower with my motorcycle leather still on. It was already soaked with loads of salt water. It's quicker to wash off the salt this way. Tatsuya Sudo is dead. But I don't think this is the end. Maya ni also hadn't given up. It seemed like all of them, my brother, Ulala-san, and that other guy, were chasing me and Sudo down. When I saved Yoshizaka at the Seven's clock tower, I gave Maya ni an emblem and advised her to spread a rumor, so I figured it'd be safe for me to leave her alone for now. I was naive. The more I pulled away, the more she'd approach me with that steady smile until before I knew it, I couldn't get her out of my head. Even way back, she would have gotten to me like that, but giving her that advice was only fuel for her engine. Still, I was right to keep an eye out for June in the meantime. I knew Pseudo, who had already tried to abduct Yoshizaka, would absolutely try to force June into the masked role of Joker. And I had been right. Honestly, I wanted to settle up with Pseudo before he captured June, but I got thrown off when Mayani appeared. I decided I'd never have anything directly to do with him again, but June got involved, and at that time, he ended up recognizing my face. Really, at this rate, I need at least 5 of me to protect everyone. I'm sure he picked his next move ages ago. It's obvious I still haven't gone even 1 millimeter off the rails he'd laid down. Once I stripped and washed the salt off my skin too, I got out of the shower and changed into the jeans Shiori-san bought me. I like to just let my leathers dry in the sun, but there wasn't any point. I flipped the switch on the dryer in the washroom. This scenario is actually really making Nyarlathotep better in this game. Because he was fantastic in Innocent Sin, but I didn't quite care for him too much in Eternal Punishment because he's just doing the same thing. But having this scenario just adds more context. Make it better. I headed to the room I'd been borrowing and threw myself down onto the single sofa bed. Aside from the sofa bed, there were 10 cardboard boxes of Shiori-san's in the corner that had been unpacked and a clothing case for me. That was it. I was grateful just to have a place I can stay, somewhere close to Mayani in case anything happened. That was more than enough. However, I really should have left without saying a word that the night we met at Zodiac and kept Shiori-san from getting involved with this any further. But Shiori-san told me about her younger brother. I couldn't leave in silence then. Her brother was murdered by Pseudo in my place. 10 years ago, playing Kashihara. 10 years ago, the day Shiori-san's younger brother was killed was the same day Mayani and myself were locked up in Ayla Shrine on the other side. The other side, Pseudo, set the shrine on fire while we were locked up inside. Since I was just a kid, I was finally able to escape by just barely squeezing through a gap in the floorboards. I went outside in order to save Maya, but I was stabbed in the back. I didn't realize he got stabbed. That's when I awoke to my persona and burned Pseudo's face. Pseudo thought that Maya had done that, so that's why he stalked her. But when we lost to him in order to recreate a world where Maya lived, we changed history a little bit, and some things were erased so they never happened. On this side, we all never met 10 years ago, so Pseudo also never stabbed me. To fill that hole, Shiori-san's little brother was killed. I understood why. It was a present from him, showing me what happens when we change history. Damn it, you fucking bastard! I twisted and pulled at my hair. I hated him so much I could go mad. I won't forgive him. I wanted to kill him. I wanted to die and disappear. I dug my nails into the mark he left on my right arm.
Let's positive speaking! メッセージは前向きにね。
The sudden ringing of the telephone brought me to my senses. I was so overwhelmed by exhaustion that I thought I heard Maya's voice on the answering machine message. The incoming call was on the landline in Shiori-san's room, but something was odd. The person who called in didn't say a word or hang up. They just stayed on the line, silent. I strained my ears on what I could hear in the next room through the slightly ajar door. It was after maybe a minute that a man's voice suddenly, hesitantly began to whisper. I know who you called. If you're capable of hearing this, contact Sergeant Suo as soon as you can. Contact my brother? I didn't get it. I guess the guy who called Shiori-san was in trouble. Wait, who you called? I had a bad feeling about this. I jumped to my feet, hurried into Shiori-san's room, and turned on the TV. On the other side, he got humanity to self-destruct by making rumors come true and spreading anxiety through society. I got the sense that by going out of his way to make me run into Pseudo and spreading the rumors about Joker, He was using the same tricks even on this side. Even the news was just another one of his tools. I flipped through the channels until a program with that shady fortune teller woman who did the Wang Long fortunes that were popular these days caught my attention. Kigure calls forth further Kigure, and Joka causes sin to increase. The more people sin, the greater Kigure's power become. It is cause and effect. You must not let jealousy and petty grudges consume you. You must not perform the Joker curse. If you do, you will be possessed by Joka. Thus, those who perform the curse will end up becoming a Joker themselves. What the? Wow, so then the Joker isn't just one particular person. My heart pounded in my throat as every hair in my body stood on end. My memories of the other side and what had happened on this side intersected dizzily in my head, and I understood what the answering machine message from a moment ago in Pseudo's last words meant. The man who phoned in knew both that Shiori-san had called Joker and what was said on TV just now. So he futurely, warned her that there was a danger that she herself would become Joker. I didn't know who the hell that was, but it was someone who knew what's going on, but he couldn't do anything about it himself. That was why he told her to ask my brother for help. Shiori-san said that there were guys in the police force who were trying to mislead the investigation on Joker and Pseudo. Most likely, he was someone in the police who knew that, same as Shiori-san. The fear has been spread. The Joker won't die. What Pseudo was saying was that this is how Joker will circulate and multiply. I leapt at the phone in the room and called Shiori-san's cell number, which I had memorized. Come on, pick up. Joker was already drawing society's attention. Air a program like this and it become a rumor in a flash. It was a matter of time before Joker would appear all over town. I don't think they're calling names whatever Republic in Persona 5, but it makes me wonder if Maya and them got a little nervous when Joker popped up in 2016. Respectable people would just laugh it off like this, but what happens if the rumored fortune tellers says come true? What was a joke will become the seed of for what if for a ton of people. People will spread it by word of mouth. Fear and anxiety will in turn spread like an epidemic, and at last it will become reality. That's how the curse that people unknowingly set off became common knowledge, and the other side fell to ruin, just as he planned. The same thing was starting to happen here, with the person closest to me as the sacrifice. Damn it! No good, she wasn't picking up. It alarmed me that it wasn't even going to voicemail. I headed back to my room, picked up the sword I stole from Pseudo at Zodiac, and left Shiori-san's house. I needed to find her before she killed someone. Science Research Laboratory Security Control Room. Maya, you still haven't given up? When I jumped the security fence and reached what looked like the security room for the research lab, I found the security guards had already been overcome and the alarms and monitors cut. No wonder it was so easy for me to sneak in. I found 3 wrapped coins on the floor to the security guards on the floor next to the security guards, collapsed in front of the door. There was only one person who could take out gun-toting enemies with something like that. Baofu, that shady old man. Which meant Maya and my brother were here too. They were probably a step ahead of me and got wind that the kidnapped Joker users were dragged here. This was going to be a pain. 2 full days had passed since I left Shiori-san's place and tracked the rumors to this place. In that time, Shiori-san hadn't returned home or to the police station. There was no mistake, his underlings had kidnapped her. All over town, people who used the Joker curse have been turning into Joker users and for some reason getting kidnapped just as quickly by some unknown party. I needed to simultaneously rescue Shiori-san, Maya, and the others and figure out who the guys hunting down Joker users really were. They were the pawns he was using in place of the masked circle. I'd knock out all 3 tasks at once. If possible, I wanted to get my hands on the information here before Maya and the others did. Then erase my tracks so they wouldn't get in any deeper than they already had. Could I do it? No, I will do it. Okay. Do I want to create a new save file? I'll create my save file. Alright, we're back to this dungeon. Have I leveled up at all in the meantime? 62 Apollo, 55 Tatsuya. Shouldn't he be immune to dark now because I did all that? Whatever. Katsuya's brother, whom Maya refers to as Deja Vu Boy. He seems to be after the Joker. Alright, I'll stop this part here. Thanks for watching.